Today we have legendary Hall of Fame fighter and trainer straight out of Long Island. This guy is a legend, James Buddy McGirt. It's going to be great. Let's get into it. Welcome to the champ and the chump.
And who's the chump?
You.
Me. Welcome to our show, people. You got some white stuff like right here. It's just like a little bit.
You know what it is, man? I was cooking in the kitchen and the baking soda fell off the cabinet. Hit me in the face.
I know. That's sprinkled on my face too. God dang.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, brother? It's good to see you again, man.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to
yes,
you.
Happy New Year's to you too. So look, where are you at now?
Where are you located?
Right now, I'm in California. I live in Florida, but I'm in California now getting Adam Lopez ready for his fight on February 13th.
Oh.
Beautiful.
You're a Long Island guy, right?
Yeah, from New York, born and raised, but I got tired of shoveling snow, so I moved to Florida in 2000.
I'm from Manhattan, man. It's snowing right now, actually. I'm in Brooklyn right now, as we speak.
Oh, yeah. Damn, my wife's from Brooklyn. She's from East New York.
All right. Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, it's way out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, enjoy the snow, man.
I own a comedy club out here, but we've been closed because of there's still a ban going on all through New York. All the indoor dining, everything's shut. So
holy shit,
it's fucked up. I think.
Yeah, man.
Let's jump right into deep water, bro. So when did you start boxing?
1976. I was 12 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, like me.
Wait, you had 80 fights.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking impressive. 73 wins. I remember watching you growing up, man. You were one of the guys who got me into fighting.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Me too, dude. Buddy McGirt, because I was a boxer, my dad made me watch the guys that he wanted me to fight like so that I could emulate style, and you were one of them for sure. When you fought who's the guy's name? I forgot his name now. Arturo Gatti?
No, I didn't fight Arturo.
I'm sorry, you trained Arturo Gatti.
Yeah, I trained Arturo, yes.
There's a few guys that my dad would make me watch him fight, and I was like, man, how am I supposed to be like that?
So I wanted to ask you, like, when you fought Frankie Warren that second time, how sweet was it to beat him so easily and win that title?
Well, first of all, it wasn't easy. I can tell you that right now.
You made
the second time. Let me tell you something, man. It took my body 2 months to recover from that fight.
Ooh. Okay.
And I won. Can you imagine how he felt?
Yeah. Was it body snatching?
Oh man, I pissed blood everything after the fight, man.
Oh, really?
Wow.
He hit me on the hips, the thighs, my butt, because he was like 5'3".
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He hit me everywhere but the bottom of my feet, man. I was like, damn. But he was tough, man. He was the toughest guy I've ever fought.
Well, I think what you did though was so great because you took from that first fight and you just made the adjustments beautifully and just executed a great plan. The second fight.
It's funny, man, that you say that. After the first fight, Georgie Benton, his trainer, God bless him, was a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But Georgie told me what I did wrong after the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that we might be fighting a year and a half later.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got to the weigh-in for the second fight, I said, hey, George, he's like, yo, I said, remember everything you told me I did wrong? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I corrected that shit now. And I said, you're going to see it, because then the weigh-in was the morning of the fight.
Mm.
Oh,
he looked at me and said, you motherfucker.
What do you remember kind of what kind of things he said? Anything stand out to you?
He told me that, for one, I didn't give him any angles. I was standing too tall. Mm-hmm. I let him get up under me because he was short.
I remember.
He goes, you got to bend your knees a little, bend at the waist a little, and more importantly, come up the middle when you're inside. And that's what I did, man. And he said, you should have kept him turning. We were just talking after the first fight, not realizing a year and a half later we might put it out. So I made those adjustments, but it was still tough, man. It was.
Isn't it like amazing in the thought process that if you do one or two things different in the fight, it changes the whole outlook?
The whole thing, man. And it was a 15-round fight.
Oh my!
So after the fourth round, I didn't look at the round card girls anymore. I just went into a zone.
And
it took me like 3 days after the fight to come out of that zone.
Wow. You kind of reminded me in that fight of Douglas against Tyson, how you kind of handled him and made him his size. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, yes. I mean, it was. I mean, I can honestly tell you, man, that's one fight I'll never ever forget in my life.
He was a tough guy.
I mean, there's always that one fight that stick out. That was it.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah.
That must have felt great, though. I mean, I know physically it hurt, but emotionally, that must have been.
Ooh. Oh man, forget about it. You know, here's the funny part. When I lost him the first time, everybody, my manager was crying, my trainers, my family, my mom and everybody, and the hotel was like a mile away from where the fight was.
Mm-hmm.
So they says, "Come on, get in the car." I says, "No, I'm going to walk to the hotel." So I walked by myself from the arena to the hotel. And when I got to the hotel, I told my manager, this was in July now. We fought in July. I says, "Get me another fight as soon as you can." And he's like, "What?" I says, "I got to work on certain things. I'm going to put this loss behind me and move on." So I fought, that was July. I fought Sal Mambi in September.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. And when I beat Sal Mambi, I says, I know I'm going to be champ now.
Yeah.
Sal Mambi is not an easy fight.
Listen, he hit me in the liver.
Oh.
In the 8th round, I hit him with a right hand and buckled his knees. And at that point, he had never been knocked out. So I said, I'm going for the kill. And when I went in, he hit me in the liver. I pissed on myself.
Oh. Like a
little? We got in the clinch, and he said to me, "Slow your young ass down."
Oh.
I said to myself, "No problem."
Oh man.
I had 8 rounds in the bank. I had 8 rounds in the bank. So I'm like, shit. And my manager's like, "You can get him out now." I'm saying to myself, "No the hell I can't," because that liver shot hurt like a mother skunk, man.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And so out of those 80 fights, I know you talked about the one you think is your best fight. Which one was worst? Meaning you did. You know what I mean? Which one was the worst that you think it could be? Not your.
I can tell you exactly what it was. It was my second fight with Pernell.
Really?
Why so?
Yeah, I fought a dumbass fight. Listening to my manager, I fought a dumbass fight. The first fight I made it a chess match. Pernell didn't like that.
Right.
Second fight, my manager said, "You got to put pressure. You got to put pressure. You got to put pressure." So I put pressure, and then after I knocked Pernell down, he got up, and I should have never done that because then he went to work on my ass.
Yeah, I hate it when they get up better, energize upon it.
What made Pernell, in your opinion, from fighting him twice, such an outstanding? Like, what did he do, in your opinion, that just stood out better than most?
He listened to his trainer, Georgie Benton. Georgie,
okay.
Let me tell you, I have 6 losses in my career. 4 losses are to Georgie Benton fighters.
Ooh, so he knew you.
And Georgie Benton was a legend, bro.
The man was a genius, man. The man was a genius, man. He used to say stuff, man. I used to be like, damn. You know what I mean? And Pernell having his natural abilities and having Georgie in the corner, man, just made him that much of a better fighter. As a matter of fact, at the press conference before our first fight, I told the people, I said, I'm not worried about Pernell. I'm worried about Georgie.
It's him, man.
I mean, I ain't worried about Pernell. Lou Duva, no. Georgie's the man I got to work with.
I completely understand what you're saying.
Did Pernell have like a lot of people said he couldn't really hit? Do you agree with that, or did he have some pop?
He was a good body puncher. Like when he placed that left hand downstairs, You knew that's something. You knew it was there. Head punching, not really. Body shots, unbelievable.
Interesting.
Well, as a trainer now, what is the mechanics of a guy who can punch real good to the body and not to the head?
Well, I'm pretty much, I believe, like Mike McCullum, you just gotta, you kill the body long enough, the head will follow eventually. Or
Right.
the guy's gonna take a seat and say, you know what, I had enough. Or you hit him with enough punches up top, you get him out of there. You know what I mean? I told a guy once, I said, look, if you don't hit him with one shot, you hit him enough, the referee stopped the fight.
Right. No, it makes sense.
All right.
Out of the list of guys that you've trained, which one was the most easy to train?
I'm gonna give it a tie with the late Vernon Forrest.
Oh my God, my brother.
And Antonio Tarver.
Huh?
Really?
These guys, the world never got to see their true abilities. Yeah. Tarver was unbelievable. He just never really had to use all of his skill. Vernon would have been the only guy that could beat Floyd.
What did Tarver have that we didn't see?
He had one hell of a boxing IQ, man. Unbelievable, man. But he never had to use it. You know what I mean? Vernon just was unbelievable. I mean, when I used to train Vernon, I had these old men that used to come because I live in Florida and that's where my gym was. They would come to the gym just to watch Vernon shadow box.
Really?
Yeah. And then after he shadow boxed, I said, look, he's sparring. We don't want to see the sparring. We just want to see him shadow. Because, man, the guy was unbelievable, man. He was just unbelievable.
I spent
unreal, man.
I spent a lot of years with Vernon on the U.S. boxing team. This is my brother, man. When he died, when he was killed, it broke my heart. And to this day, I commemorate him every year, man.
I spoke to him 2 days before he got killed.
Wow.
He was at Zaxby's Chicken ordering chicken.
Yeah. In Georgia.
And he says we're gonna start training Saturday. I'm gonna fly out to Atlanta on Saturday. I said no problem. And then I got the call 2 days later, man. But the guy's talent was him and Tarver, man, were unbelievable, man.
And man's mentioned, dude, he was a funny dude, man. I used to crack me up all the time. That's my brother. I miss him to death to this day.
So on the opposite end of that, is there anybody who was difficult to train?
Difficult. I've been pretty blessed in the sense that I never really had you get a couple that think they know it all. You know what I mean? You get a couple that think they know it all, but at the same time, you respect their opinion. But in the back of your mind, you're saying to yourself, listen, man, that ain't gonna work. And then when they're going there and try and it don't work, then they come back and say, hey, coach, I'm like, I tried to tell you, man. And I do that. I mean, no, I'm gonna knock him out. You're not knocking I tell these guys, you're not knocking everybody out. Some guys can catch better than they can pitch. So,
yeah.
So I had a guy, I won't say his name, but he's telling me, no. I said, listen, man, if you try it that way, it's not gonna work. And it didn't work. And he came back to me and was like, yo, I don't know why I didn't listen. I said, because you think you know it all.
I feel so. Me and Jeremy, one of the angles of this podcast is, I used to fight a little. Jeremy obviously fought a lot, and we want to give people the perspective from kind of a fighter's standpoint. And the gym, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, is one of the few places where people come in, and for the most part, anybody with an attitude either gets it checked right away or does not last. You know what I mean? It's of all respect, and so people will look at you, look at your resume, and they're going to listen. They are, or they shouldn't be in the sport.
But here's the problem. That was then. Now it's totally different.
The millennials?
But now, nobody wants to lose their job now. So I see trainers taking shit from fighters, and I'm saying to myself, you got to be out of your mind. There's no respect. There's no respect because the fighter knows this guy ain't going nowhere.
Wow.
You know what I mean? He's not going nowhere. Back in the day, the old school trainers would tell you, yo, pack your shit and get out the gym.
Keep moving, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you came to the gym with an attitude, they say, look, if you came in talking back, it's look, kid, we see you tomorrow. And if you kept giving them lip, they says, take care and go to another gym. Today, it don't work like that. You see, I've learned from when I was coming up. So now if I tell a fighter, get to the gym at 11 o'clock, and he gets there at 12 and don't call me and tell me he's going to be late, he's training himself that day.
Mm.
Now, if you call me and say, yo, buddy, man, yeah, no problem. But if you just walk in at 12, acting like you got there at 10:30, no, it don't work like that. You could train yourself today. And I've had guys call their managers. The man's like, buddy, what do you say? Man, listen, I told him to be at 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. He walked in at 12 o'clock like he was a half hour early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He didn't even call me or text me and say, yo, I'm running late. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm supposed to just tell everybody else, I can't train you now because he decided to come at 12 o'clock. No, I says no. Because if you start them off that way, that's how they're going to continue to be.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And this guy wasn't even a champ. He wasn't even close to becoming a champ.
Mm-hmm.
His managers treated him like that. But I'm like, yo, this kid's not going to make it because he's got the wrong attitude. I said, I've had world champions come to gym on time. And if they're late, they call and say, hey, coach, I'm going to be late. This happened, that happened. Understandable. But don't just not call and walk in and expect me to drop everything. You know what I mean? And come in. Now, Jeremy, yourself, if you went in late and then call your trainer, what would happen?
Oh, I'm working. I'm doing my own thing. I got to train myself.
Yeah.
I might as well just go for a long ass run. I'm getting no love in the gym. That's for sure. No love.
So, kind of a random question, but how did the nickname Buddy come about?
My real nickname, everyone that knows me as a kid growing up, is Little Bud.
Okay.
So when I started boxing, a friend of mine says, I ain't going to call you James Little Bud. I'm going to call you James Buddy. I was like, all right, no problem. But anyone that I grew up with to this day, and everybody in my family, they don't call me Buddy. They call me Little Bud.
They do.
So if I'm out and someone says Little Bud, I'm like, I got to know you when you got to, then I really know you, because they didn't start calling me Buddy until I was about 14, 15. It's always been Little Bud or Headquarters because of that size of my head.
Headquarters. So the transition from fighter to trainer, was that a hard mix, or was that coming from being the man to now training somebody who's going to try to be the man? How was that? How was that for?
It was hard, but not hard, because when I started boxing, the very next day I wanted to be a trainer.
Okay.
My career, when I was fighting professionally, when I had breaks in between fights, I would go to the amateur gym and train some amateurs. Work with some kids going to the Golden Gloves, and I just was honing my skills as a trainer. But it still was a hard transition, because when you become a trainer now, when you train these professionals, you ask them to do a move, you expect them to do it like that.
Mm.
Then you gotta tell yourself, no, it's going to take them time. So you gotta have patience.
What do you feel about the fighters? So like me, I don't think I never got into training at all, because I feel like there's certain fighters who have all the ability in the world, right? But this isn't right. And how often do you see that? And is that very frustrating to see somebody who has all this talent, but just for whatever reason?
That's why, and you gotta have patience. You know what I mean? And Sugar Ray Leonard told me, he goes, buddy, I don't have the patience.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I don't have the patience to be a trainer. I'm gonna give you an example now. James Toney is training fighters now, right? Mm-hmm. So I told James, I said, listen, James, it's not that easy. James, don't tell me. I said, okay. I'm not gonna say no more. A week later, his fighters grabbed his bag and they walked out the gym. So I said, what's wrong? They said, yo, man, that guy's cursing me out. So I go and I said, JT, what's up? Man, that stupid mother. I'm like, James, bro. You didn't learn that move overnight. Then he stopped and he thought about it. He goes, you're right. I said, it took you a while to learn that move. We forget that we was that same kid at one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that said, James Toney is a natural. James Toney's a natural.
So he
And
gets
so
on these
some of
guys.
the yeah.
I mean, you know how he is. You know, he's
Yeah,
cursing.
I know.
I'm like, Jay. I'm like, James, you can't do that. What do you mean? I can't. I said, because, man, I'm saying you was gifted.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And on top of being gifted, you had a great trainer in Bill Miller. So you can't expect these guys to pick up this move overnight or that combination. No. Yeah, it looks good on the heavy bag, and they be like, damn. But they don't get it. So you have to, I said, it's every day. He's like, man, I ain't got patience for this. I said, you got no choice, bro. You got no choice. You can't fight no more.
How
So you
long?
got no choice.
How long does it take you when to see if a fighter will be able to adjust and adapt and do it, or they're just kind of not? It's not going to work out for you. Can you tell that right away?
What I do is, if a guy calls me and says, "But I want you to, I would like you to train me," I tell the guy, "Okay, listen, let's work out for a week and just see if we connect. Now we might connect outside the gym. I mean, but let's see if we connect working together.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can't figure it in a week, if we don't vibe each other, no hard feelings.
Mm-hmm.
If we do, then we go to the next league, we work together. You know what I mean? Because some guys, you could be friendly outside the gym, but when it comes time to working together, you don't click. So I don't want to get halfway through a training camp and we wind up arguing with each other and and become non-friends. So I'd rather, as we're friends, let's work this week, see what we got, and go from there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you got this young Latin kid or Mexican kid here working in LA, and he's fighting at the end of the month. How many guys in your stable do you have at a time?
Right now, it all depends. Right now I'm blessed in the sense that with this pandemic, I got guys fighting because this pandemic is it's hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only bad part has been that damn bubble. But right now, I got like 5 guys right now.
You got 5 guys on the floor right now?
Yeah, I'm training right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great, man. It's a lot of work.
Is there?
Yeah,
So
man.
you
Keep me busy. When I come, when I come here and I'm here for a couple weeks and I'll go home for a few days, then I come back. You know what I mean? Like my wife is here now. She came to visit me for the next few days, and then after the fight, then I'll go home, and then I got to come right back again. So.
Mm-hmm. And you use LA and Florida, or you jump back to New York, or you?
No, I don't go back to New York. I only go back to New York if I got a fight. If I don't have a fight, I don't go back. I used to go back to visit my mom, but she passed away a while ago, so I don't go back. All right.
But so you only have camp in Florida and California.
That's it. No. Yes. Yeah. One time, I went to Big Bear with Fernando Vargas, but that's still in California. So but sometimes, but no, I'm lying. One time I was training Matthew Macklin. We did camp in Spain.
Mm.
But I had nobody fighting, so I was able to go to Spain for 3.5 weeks.
That's cool. So hey, we had Vargas on a couple weeks ago. How did you feel training him?
It was a lot of fun, man. You know what I mean? We're working with him and Papa G. It was a lot of fun. They learned a lot. You know what I mean? And it was great. He's a hard worker, man. He was a very, very hard worker, man, and a good guy, man.
He's a really great guy. We had a great interview with him, and he really presented himself. And his sons are now fighting, which was we thought was just great.
It's funny when I was a big bear, his son they were tiny, man.
Yeah,
they were tiny.
Yeah,
man.
Right.
Beautiful family, man. Good guy, man.
He's a great guy. We had a great time with him. That said, who in your career did you want to fight that you didn't have the opportunity to fight?
Chavez.
Oh.
Julio Cesar?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. How would you have prepared for that fight?
No different than at 147. No different than I have for any other fight.
Oh, we don't know how any other fight went, so you got to tell us.
Oh, okay. Well, I just would have. You see, my trainer was different.
Okay.
In the sense that if I was fighting a short guy, he didn't go out and get short guys. He went out and got guys that's going to make me work and make me think. But they were tall, short, right-handed, left-handed. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
They was going to make me work. I sparred them. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, today this guy, like, well, I'm fighting a guy 5'5". You have anybody 5'4", 5'6"? Look, I got a guy 5'8". You want to work or not?
I don't think Chavez would have wanted any part of you back then, man. I don't think that would have been a fight.
I mean, at 140, I wanted him at 140. I wanted him when I beat Simon Brown. I really wanted to fight Chavez.
40, huh?
Oh,
Wow.
let me
That
ask
would have
you.
been.
I'm
Because
sorry.
boxers gave him trouble.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Boxers gave him trouble.
They did.
And if you could punch, gave him more trouble.
Let me ask you on the
And I
trainer.
knew at 147 I could crack a little bit.
What'd you say, Marco?
I was gonna ask you, buddy, on the trainer side of it, is there any fighter that you really want to train that you haven't?
Wow, good question. That's a really good question, man. I never really thought about that, if you want to know the truth.
No, you don't see somebody and you're like, if I got this guy, I'd bring him up even another notch.
Nah, I don't. Nah, I don't. To be honest with you, I'd be lying if I told you yeah.
Okay.
Not another notch guy, huh? So you didn't get the Chavez fight, which would have been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been a great fight. And that would have been 12 or 15.
Well,
Would that have been 12 or 15?
I would have wished it was 15, but it would have been 12 because in '91 it was only 12-round fights.
And how many? Oh, shit. How many 12-round fights did you have?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I fought when I fought for the title, when I fought rounds, and then then I defended it. It was 15 rounds. In '88, but then after that, it went down to 12 rounds.
Between round 12 and
I can tell you right now, I can tell you how many 12-round fights I had. Okay, now, Magic, Simon, Oliva, to Pernell.
Wow. How many? It's 50. So between round 12 and 15, I mean, I've only done 12s. I've never done 15s.
But I didn't go 15.
Oh, you didn't?
See, I didn't. When I fought for the title, it was scheduled for 15. I stopped it at 12.
Yeah.
And then when I defended my title, it was for 15, but I stopped the guy in the first.
I ain't no fun.
All right. And then after that, that was the end of 15-round fights in the United States. Then a month later, Calvin Grove fought the last 15-round fights in Mexico, which made the last 15-round fight in the world.
Yeah.
In the United States, I did the last 15-round fight in the United States. Calvin Grove did it in the whole world.
Man, but you never done, like, I've done 12. 12. In good, fresh, like, so the fight seemed like it was coming to me rather than going to the fight. How'd you feel about 12?
I got to the point where I said, if I could do 10 rounds, 12 rounds is nothing. That's only 6 more minutes.
That's exactly what I said.
But now when you got 5 more rounds,
those
I could do
those are the
whole different
nobody's business.
Whole different ball game.
Say it again.
I could do 4 rounds like nobody's business.
Boy, that's just warming up.
I know. So
you know what I mean? So I wish they bring back 15-round fights. If you want to know the truth,
I would do one.
You don't
think do one.
You don't think that increases the chance of people getting hurt?
You know what makes people get hurt?
What?
The weigh-ins the day before the fight.
I agree.
Because guys don't fight at their natural weight. They kill themselves to get down. And then after the fight, they go get an IV from a doctor. They blow up and they're 15 pounds heavier than a guy who might be at his natural weight. Yeah. So they should have the weigh-ins the day of the fight, and you have better fights. And most of these guys that are fighting in the junior weight classes won't be fighting in the junior weight classes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because they can't make the weight.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You know what I mean? I think if you got a guy who's a natural 40-pounder, and you got a guy at 54 killing himself to get down to 40, and then by fight time he's 149 pounds.
Damn.
Something wrong with that math.
Yes. Do you think the heavyweight division needs to be divided as well?
Yeah, they're doing that bridge weight thing now.
I don't know, man. I just think after 200, over 200, man, you just gotta have to bite the bullet, man, because
Man, I don't know because these guys are
yeah,
6'7", 6'8", 270, 260 pounds, rich. Look, my little ass, I'm 6'1", 240.
We
That's
didn't
it.
fight at 240 though. You were 215.
I
right,
fought at 215, 218. I'm
right,
48 years old and I'm weighing 240, 250. It's ridiculous. I mean, these guys are getting huge. When you
yeah,
fight like you got 19 pounders, 22 pounders, 26, 30, 32, 40, 39, 40, 42. I mean, and then 75, 200, and be gone. I think that's just wow. It's crazy.
Um,
And people are getting big. You see, like them big old Mama Jahambos fighting for the heavyweight title. They're like 6'8", 270 pounds.
that's
Not
big,
ripped,
man.
but there's some big old some bitches, boy. This is crazy.
Yeah,
buddy, did you see the Tyson versus Jones fight?
no,
You did.
that's it.
You didn't. Okay, I was gonna ask you what you thought about it, but
No, I didn't see it. Nah.
did you not want to see it? Was it interesting to you, or you just had something to do?
To be honest with you, I was traveling at the time.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't, dude. It was boring.
It was. Yeah.
It was boring. It was dumb. I was like, Roy Jones, 210 pounds, whatever. Mike Tyson, 225, something like that, 230. I was like, it was 2 minutes of hold. It was like a hold ago.
Yeah, Roy was clinching because he's at that. Talk about a weight difference. Tyson's easily 40, 50 pounds heavier just naturally. Um, so
and 2 inches shorter.
and when you saw them standing next to each other, you saw Tyson's head. He just looks like a pit bull, and Roy has this little. You know what I mean? It was like a boy, a man and a boy in terms of body size.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He looked
damn.
way smaller. Yeah. Um. So
But I don't think that fight did any of them any justice. I was like, not a big deal. Not a big. So besides the Latin kid, who do you got working right now? So that
I got a
we can
kid.
look
I
at.
got a kid from Kazakhstan named Johnny Beck. I can't pronounce his last name, but
Leave it at back.
this kid is a middleweight. He's the real deal.
yeah.
60 or 70? I mean, 60 or
160,
65? 60.
160. But I'll put him anywhere at 160, 168 right now.
What do you think about Chris Bird won the fight? He's at
Next,
60 right now.
Yeah, we interviewed him.
next question, man. Listen,
We had
listen. I love all those champions that want to come back. But understand something, man. This is a young man's sport.
What do you
It's a
think about the
young man's
senior
sport.
league?
what if
You can look. Listen, you could be 50 and look good, hit the heavy bag, hit the mitts, look like a superstar. I can hit the heavy bag right now and look like Ray Robinson. But when that
Right.
bell ring and somebody comes at me, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yep.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, the mind says yeah, but the body says, nah, this punch ain't gonna make it there in time. So I just, hey, listen, I wish them all well. God bless them, but it's crazy, man.
We had Hassim on the who I know you trained briefly. We had him on a few weeks ago, and we asked him the same question. And he thought it was I think the exact words was suicide for Chris Bird doing it.
I mean, come on. I mean, Michael Nunn stopped by my gym the other a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna fight one more time. Well, he had fought twice.
Really?
He's talking about fighting again, and I'm looking at Michael Nunn like, homeboy, you the same age.
He's like
I'm 50,
57, right?
I'm 57. I'm not.
That's
I
Mike
don't, even,
57.
I don't fight sleep. When I get sleepy, I just go to sleep, man. You understand?
We
Yeah, I was on the phone with Michael Nunn this morning, and I was like, why? But why you trying to fight? He's doing motivational speaking. I said, that's great, but why fight? And he didn't have an answer for me.
we actually know who he's fighting. We can't say anything yet, but we know who he's going to fight most likely. Because we talked to the person on the show who he's probably going to fight. So
Yeah.
Like I said, God bless them all, man.
So is there a specific? So we talked about your most gratifying victory as a fighter, which was the second win against Warren. But what's your most disappointing experience in the ring?
My last fight,
Okay, why exactly?
I lost to a guy that used to be my sparring partner.
Wow.
Okay, okay.
Really?
And
And what do you attribute that to? Were you just kind of past your prime or what?
I was past. Past is an understatement.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And an old guy once told me, goes, buddy, sometimes fighters get old walking up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And here's the funny part. He threw a lot of punches, didn't hit me. I threw no punches, didn't hit him. But so, like I would slip the punch, but my reflexes, man, the mind said shoot, but the body was just like, yo, buddy, the game is over.
And you knew right there and then after that
Yeah,
fight
I knew before the fight. My wife had told me.
what she said.
Really?
She said, don't do it.
Oh,
Straight up. She told me. My wife told me to retire after I lost to Whitaker the second time. She said, don't do it. She
how
said,
old?
she goes, you're not the same. She
Hmm,
goes, you don't have the same hunger anymore.
how old were you at that point when you lost Whitaker second time?
30,
30. Wow.
And isn't that crazy?
30. I had a lot of fights, man. I had 2 surgeries, and I lost to Pernell March of '93, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had my surgery, and I came back, and they told me I'll be off a year.
Mm-hmm.
They said it'd be a year before I could fight again, if I was able to fight again. That was in March. My first fight back was in October.
Mm-hmm.
Then I fought in January. Then I fought for March. Then I fought April. Then I fought June, August, then October.
Damn.
All in 1 year after my surgery.
Damn. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I was fighting, man, and my wife just said to me, "Listen, that's it, baby." But I said, "Nah, honey, now I got to go for it." And she just said, "Look, you're being selfish," and she was right.
Mm.
So I just said, "You know what? This is it, man." And then after I lost my last fight, they offered me a fight in Canada, and I said, "Shit, 100 grand, I could take and I could win." So I went to training camp. I set up training camp in Colorado. And after 3 days, I just got on the plane and my friends were there. I said, yo, man, I'm going home. And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm not going to fight, man. That's it. The game is over.
Mm.
And they're like, man, you'll be back. I said, I'm telling you, you better get on the plane with me. If you don't get on the plane with me,
You felt
you're
it.
stuck. And they said, nah, we'll wait. We know you'll be back. You ain't going to turn down 100 grand. I got on the plane, clothes there. I left my stuff there. I left everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
I took my key. I had an apartment. I took the key off the keychain, put it on the table, left.
What?
That
And
was it.
you were
Yeah.
30 at the time. So what do you think? Because in today's day, 30, even 35 isn't that old anymore. Why do you think that is?
I think, the 2 injuries really took a lot out of me. And because I had the injuries and then I worked so hard to get back. And when I got back, I was fighting every other month.
Hmm. But
I
like,
mean, I wasn't giving myself time to rest.
right.
I'd fight, go home for a couple of weeks and boom, I was back in camp again.
But I mean, like, even as a whole, back in your era and earlier, for everybody, like that was a normal age to kind of, once you hit 30, you're on your way out. And over the past 20 years, I feel like that's changed. I don't know why. I mean, right?
But now, now these guys be taking all kind of crazy shit that they
Oh,
get from these people that that don't get detected in the urine, and they're able to go that extra mile. We in my era, man, we just worked hard, ate steak, and took vitamins and drank Gatorade.
well, I mean,
Now,
look at even James Toney. When he beat Ruiz, right? He tested positive for whatever, and that what he didn't win the heavyweight title. I mean, you guys know Tony. I don't know him, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would cheat. I don't think he was cheating. I think maybe he was just taking something for, it was really what he said it was, or for an injury or whatever. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I really can't, because I don't know the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say yay or nay.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that saying, lighter weight fighters deteriorate quicker than older fighters. I mean, heavier fighters. Sorry.
Oh,
I mean, the lighter weights deteriorate quicker than the heavier weights,
why is that?
which is
True.
true. You know
Very
what I
true.
mean? And in my time when I was fighting, we sparred every day, man.
Yeah.
We sparred 5-6 days a week.
Wow.
I mean, and there was none of that 1 day on, one off. Now, 5-6 days straight,
So how do you
up until 3 or 4 days before the fight.
how do you do it now with your fighters? Do you have them training sparring a lot, or?
No, not a lot, because you can't. If you get sparring on Monday, no one's gonna box again until Wednesday, then Friday. You know what I'm saying? But then there's sometimes I'll make a guy go 2 days in a row.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Then take a day off. So every now and then that old school stuff comes out of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I like working 3 days in a row. Boom, 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 and then
Right.
maybe on a Saturday, just like a light 4, 5, 6 rounds, something like that. But for me, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Usually work the floor Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday get back in the ring. That's what I would like to do.
Well, that's a good workout. That's a good method. So I mean, a lot of people have different things that work for them.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
like when I fought Simon Brown for the title, I boxed up until 3 days before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I boxed every day, man. And sometimes, like on Saturday, my man's like, okay, we're just gonna work the floor. And you ready for this one? Never
Okay.
did mitts. I had over 30 fights before I hit the mitts.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember reading or seeing somewhere certain people say that the mitts aren't that useful. Um, what do you think?
I think it's the best choreography in the world.
So
but but if you're using to teach and not be fancy, then it's different.
right,
I agree.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you get people do it fancy, okay. But now they got kids 8, 9 years old on Instagram doing the mitts fast, flashy, everything.
That
So
was yeah,
it's the best choreography in the world. So
yeah.
I tell guys, listen. So if I take a guy and I put him on the heavy bag, I say, okay, listen, this round I want you to set the guy up. I want you to set the bag up for this combination. And they look at me like I got two heads. Like, what are you talking about? That's what you're gonna do in the ring with a guy. I'm gonna set him up. Well, that's your head. That's your opponent right there, the heavy bag.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find your own range, like you would in the ring, and then now you got to figure out how you're going to set them up with this combination, or for this combination. Because with the mitts, I'm just going to stand there. I'm going to give you your distance so you can hit the mitts. So you ain't really doing shit, but just throwing combinations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But now, if you take the mitts and use them to teach somebody something, what they're doing wrong on their footwork after they, sorry, not their foot, but their footing, their balance after they throw combinations, then it's different. When I do the mitts with the guy,
Yeah.
I'm watching their feet. I'm watching everything. So they throw a combination that's off. I'll make them do it again. Then I tell them to stop. And then I show them that their feet are not right. And I push them off balance and show them that you're throwing a good combination, but your balance is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mayweather got that popular years ago with that flashy, and that's like you said, it's choreography. It's more flash. It's not really, it's
Yeah,
not.
but you gotta take on the other side of that. Mayweather is a phenomenal athlete in our sport,
Mm-hmm.
and so that all that footwork was taught to him when he was a baby. So
Yeah.
now all he got to do is worry about this. I understand exactly what you're saying too. Like that whole mid shit. I see people. Hey, you ever fought? No, I ain't never fought before, but I'm pretty good on the mitts. How the fuck you good on the mitts and you ain't never fought?
I know doctors that are good on the mitts because you tell them what combinations to throw, man.
Man,
I mean,
it's so crazy.
it's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
I also did. I get into arguments, which I shouldn't do, with guys who say they never fought before, but they're a trainer. What?
You know
You're a
what? You know
trainer?
why they're training? Oh, you know why they're training? I'm gonna tell you 2 reasons why.
Let's hear it.
One, they do mitts flashy, so the fighters love that.
Mm-hmm.
And two, they do whatever the fighter tells them because they don't want to lose their job. So they whatever the fighter tells them to do, they'll do it. And the fighter's like, you know what? That's my trainer. Meanwhile, the trainer's doing whatever the fighter tells. He might say, look, I don't want to box today. All right, no problem. Oh, I want to box this guy today, not that guy. No problem. Old school trainers, you never asked who you was boxing.
No,
You never even suggested it. You just got your ass ready and went to work.
Your glove up. Shut up.
But hey, gentlemen, I don't mean to cut this short, but my wife is waiting for me.
No problem.
We're good. We're good. Thank you for your time, brother. We appreciate the love, right?
I appreciate it.
Hey, man, listen. Let me know. I'm more than happy to come on again.
Definitely, man.
We definitely will have you.
Good talking to you, man.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about road work.
Done.
Here we go. Done.
Hey, do you believe it? One question. This is going to be the topic next time. Do you believe in running on the road or running on a treadmill? Don't answer it. We'll talk about it next time.
Okay. I definitely will. All right. You have a great night, brother. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, babe.
All right.
Yeah, cheers.